Hello, this is teddygaming here, and welcome back to another review on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT The Samuel Adventures issue number 4, and oh boy, this one was amazing. In this one we had the Punk Frog show up as well as Leatherhead, and it was a really great issue. It really did, I want to say, resemble a lot of elements from the original episode where the Punk Frogs did show up, and I did quite like it a lot. And with where they're taking this story for the next issue, I do find it pretty interesting, but at the same time, I am very curious to see how they're going to be tying it all up together and really make it into a two-part story, and we're going to be taking the Shredder subplot thing in the next following issues, because I'm really curious to see where they do take it, because it's really interesting. But what they do in this issue with the subplot, I don't know what they're going to be doing, and it is decent, but I'm not too sure how they're going to be wrapping up in the next issue. But I got a feeling that it's going to be a storyline which will do take over through like the next few issues, which I'm all for, but yeah. Okay, so to start this story off, we do get to see Shredder and Krang. They're in his warehouse trying to break the meteorite, and nothing's really working, and Krang asks Shredder how he was able to do it before, and Shredder says basically the people who did break it before, they use magic. So Krang comes up with a great idea to call into the Turnedrome in Dimension X and asks, I think it's Trag, to send over a device to basically break the meteorite. So Trag does do this, and that's when something goes wrong in the teleporter, and the device goes a little bit wrong, and it goes into like the swamps where Leatherhead is, and that's pretty much like all the setup you really need for this issue. Meanwhile, we have the Turtles back at the lair, and they're wondering what they're going to be doing next, and how they're going to be stopping Shredder and stuff like that. And we do get to see a really cool, interesting bit where we do get to see Mikey. He thinks of Shredder, and he gets to see him playing basketball, and I don't really know what to really say about it. It's just something which I never really thought I would get to see, but it's there, it's amazing, and yeah, it's just so unique. I did not really expect I'll be seeing some of this, but I'm happy that I did, and it truly is amazing, a work of art. But that's when Donatello discovers basically the teleporter has been used, and he finds out that the device has been landed in the swamps. So that's when the Turtles come up with a great idea to basically split up into two teams. We have Leonardo and Michelangelo staying at the lair in New York, just in case Shredder strikes or anything like that. Meanwhile, Donatello and Raphael will be going off to the swamps to meet up with Punk Frogs. However, the Punk Frogs also be splitting up into two teams, which I do find to be pretty interesting as well. So Donatello and Raphael do go to the swamps, but that's when we do get to see the Punk Frogs are tracking down these people who I think they stole the Punk Frogs boat, which is interesting, I won't lie. Just because these people, they have a very unique and interesting design, which I don't really know what to really say about it, but it's okay. It feels a little bit stereotypical for like these kind of people that you expect to like see fighting these like the Punk Frogs, but it worked well enough. But it was just a little bit weird to see it in like this art style. I mean, like, it worked, but it was interesting. And Punk Frogs do beat them up and stuff like that. And then that's when they do encounter the Turtles, and it's again really interesting just because this is where the main story really picks up the pace and goes into the next big action scene. So do you see Raphael and Donatello do take two of the Punk Frogs, go off to try and find a device. They're swimming throughout the lake, and then that's when they do encounter Leatherhead. And this is basically the majority of the issue, where we do get to see the Turtles and Punk Frogs fight Leatherhead, and it's a really great fight. And I do think that the art style with this one, like, really resembling the cartoon so much. It was just so great to see, and it really did feel like an episode of the cartoon, just seeing Leatherhead fighting the Turtles and Punk Frogs. It was just so great to see. I mean, I can't really say anything bad about it, it's just so great to see. Possibly one of the best fights we've had in the cartoon comics for a while, and yeah, it was just so amazing. The only thing which I will say that was a little bit annoying, a little bit bad about this fight scene was Leatherhead, and that's not really saying that he was a bad character or anything like that, because Leatherhead's just amazing. But it was just the fact that normally with this version of Leatherhead, he has an Australian accent, and his most famous like catchphrase in that show was saying guarantee. And throughout this comic, he doesn't really like say anything which I would really say was in like an Australian accent. In a way, I mean, hopefully that makes sense, just because, you know, like when you're reading the comic, you're basically thinking or like reading it how he would say, but I don't know, his like dialogue didn't really sound through that it was in like an Australian accent, I would say. And to make things even worse, he doesn't even say guarantee, which is just so annoying. There's one job, one thing they had to do, and I didn't even do that right. But I think that if they did put that word in there, I think that would have made this comic near perfect. It was just one thing that was missing that really could have made this comic like put on like a whole new level. That's all we got to say about it. But during this fight scene, we do get to see the Shredder. He's over there and just kidnapped the device, and that's when Raphael comes up with a great plan to basically shoot down the bee's nest. And he tells Donatello and the other punk frogs to go into the river and swim away a little bit. But that's when the beehive just go down and hit Leatherhead, and bees go after Leatherhead. And that's pretty much where we do wrap up the story for this issue. So yeah, with the next issue, I'm not entirely too sure how they're going to be wrapping up this whole storyline with Shredder and the meteorite and stuff like that. Just because in the next issue, the punk frogs Leonardo and Michelangelo are supposed to be going after Baxter Stockman. So I am very curious and very confused on how they're going to be wrapping up this storyline. Unless this meteorite thing is going to be something which they do play over like a few more issues, which I do think could be a much better thing for them in the long run in terms of doing like the actual story. But I'm just a little bit confused by all, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just don't know what they're going to be doing with this storyline. But I want to say that it will be wrapping up in the next issue, but I don't think it will. So I'm just really curious and confused by it all, but I think that's a good thing, but I'm not entirely too sure. But yeah, overall, this whole issue has been pretty great. Again, the artwork for this issue is top notch. It really does resemble the artwork from the TV show, and I won't lie, if I was just looking at some of these images in this comic, I would definitely have to say that this was like screenshots from the show. And if anything, I'm just so surprised that it's not screenshots. It is just so great. And even the colours for this issue are just like top notch as well. Like they do really resemble the cartoon as well. It is like, this whole comic is on like a whole new level. And this whole issue is just so great. I think the story was pretty basic for the most part, but I think it did work for the most part. But again, the most annoying thing about this issue was the fact that Leatherhead didn't say guarantee, but I don't know really what to really say about it. It's just like a really great issue, but one little thing there that just really annoyed me a lot. It really wants me to say that, yeah, this may not be the best issue, but I can't like moan about it too much just because it's one little thing. But other than that, this whole issue was really great. And again, I'm really looking forward to see where we do take this like storyline and this universe, just because I think this issue and this whole comic series has really got me hooked back onto the 87 cartoon series. But yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you say about this in the comment section below. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you like the artwork? And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you're awesome, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.